Suns fans, this is Rich Rubin with Suns Latest. So much to get to and a really cool and forgotten legend of the day. So let's get right to it with rumors. Gary Payton II, or Gary Payton Jr., however you want to call it, Jonathan Kuminga. We're going to revisit these guys at the trade deadline. There's been rumblings, there's been talk a lot about Kuminga, just a little bit about Gary Payton II Jr. As I said, we'll revisit at the trade deadline. Ben Simmons is a no-go. Yes, the rumor was that the Suns talked to his camp. And there was a comment about Ben Simmons, if he's healthy, which like supposedly his back issues are over, so it's just a matter of want or need on both parties, on both camps. Does Ben Simmons want to play basketball anymore? He kind of alluded to that. He didn't want to play basketball anymore. Didn't really do anything for the Clippers last year. It's just so hard not to salivate when you look at Ben Simmons and you think, wow, the possibilities of this guy, and considering what he did when he first got to the league. Not a rumor, fact, former Sun combo guard Jordan Goodwin, released by the Lakers, rejoins the Suns. Goodwin was part of the Bradley Beal for Chris Paul swap between the Wizards and the Suns 2 years ago. I didn't like seeing him go, but I understood the need to let him go at the time. Played 40 games for the Suns in 23-24, and I remember Goodwin showing some promise, and he could definitely play defense. It seemed like a lot of pressure was put on him for an unproven guy when he first got to Phoenix. That may have played into him not really performing all the way through and not getting into a lot of games. But I saw him at a Laker game last year at Crypto. He covered KD for the Lakers, and he showed that he can play D. There's just no question about it. Now, can he actually play point, which is what the Suns need, and we're going nuts talking about the Suns' need for a point guard. We're going to get to that more. But if he makes final roster, he's on a non-guaranteed contract. If he makes final roster, he would be used as a point guard, and he would be 8th or 9th in the rotation anyway. So it's not a gamble to get Jordan Goodwin back in camp. 6'4", good body, good NBA mind, and it looks like, at least from what I saw when he was on the Lakers, it looked like Laker coach J.J. Redick liked the idea of sicking him on somebody. And Redick knew that the Lakers needed more wings on defense and better defense in the backcourt, and he liked Goodwin for that. Suns also reportedly agreed to terms with the former 76ers point guard Jared Butler. So I like that the Suns are doing something in the way of looking and getting guys in camp, getting ready for the preseason, and looking at possible point guards instead of just getting another shooting guard. So this is a move in the right direction for as limited as the Suns are and who they can sign. Non-guaranteed one-year contract for Butler. Butler played for Baylor's national championship team in 2021, consensus All-American, and Final Four most outstanding player. Weird injuries with him, played for the Sixers. Now, these signings are let's take a look signings. There is no need to rush to fill a roster spot right now. Non-guaranteed contracts, which is, as I said, it's a move in the right direction for the Suns, for both of them, Goodwin and Butler. So I like where this is heading, and I think it's important that we see what is available because the pickings are pretty slim. Now, more point guard stuff, and I mentioned that I would get to Colin Gillespie. I was supposed to do it yesterday. We ran out of time. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it today. So Suns let point guard Tyus Jones go because Colin Gillespie outplayed him near the end of last season, and it was real quiet with Jones going. Now, it was kind of strange because Jones started well last year, and people were going, finally, look, we got Tyus Jones, we got Beal, we got KD, we got Book, we got a facilitator for these three guys. It's going to work out great, and it did for 9 games. Suns, everybody forgets, Suns came out of the gate at 8-1, and then for some weird reason, KD goes down. Everything goes foobar after KD goes down, and when he came back, it wasn't happening anymore. They couldn't get that rhythm back, and with KD down, Jones started clearly being told by Coach Bud, who's not there anymore, to shoot a little bit more. But when KD came back, Jones kept shooting, and he fell out of favor with Coach Bud. I have a feeling Coach Bud sent a mixed message to every single player on the team, and I don't think he ever even spoke to KD. I mean, just watching them after the All-Star break last year, it just wasn't the same team that started the season, and it was a real bummer. So, Tyus Jones is gone. Colin Gillespie got some minutes, made the most of them. He definitely outplayed Jones. He is a pass-first point guard where Jones began looking for his shot more, as I mentioned. Colin Gillespie, here's some interesting stuff about him. Absolutely can run the point, and when needed, textbook jump shot. He can shoot. Out of Villanova, one of the Villanova guys. The Knicks want him, I guess. Reminds me of the little general, Avery Johnson. Bulldog mentality. I'm going to kick your ass no matter what. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how small I am. Awesome court vision. He is 6'1", 6'2". He is not frail. For some reason, I had it in my head that he was a slight build. Bulldog. Guy's a bulldog. Not afraid to get into the paint either. Seems to initiate contact when going into the paint, which I love in a point guard because that surprises bigs where they're like, no, I'm just going to swat him away. And it's like, bang, the guy knocks into you. I love that about this guy. Better hops than you think just by looking at him. He doesn't look like he's got all this athletic ability. He's an insane athlete. Knows the game, clearly has a point guard mentality, which is all the Suns need. Hustles, tough, makes good decisions. Reminds me of J.J. Barea or Jose Alvarado, that guy that we all hate, who's on New Orleans. But it's more the mentality than the game or the size. It's just the mentality of someone that size. Follows the lead of Steve Nash. I'm not comparing him to Steve Nash, relax. But probably probing, penetrating. He does that thing where he probes, he goes around, dishes it back out, dribbling back out. As soon as defenders relax, sprints to the hoop, easy layup. Nash did it constantly. Keeps defenders on their toes, makes them sag, leaving open the three-point line for Devin Booker and Jalen Green. I like where this might hopefully be heading. He's not going to be a starter. He might be the 6th or 7th guy off the bench. I don't know. If the Suns find that they get a good rhythm with Gillespie and Booker on a consistent basis, I don't know. I can hit laser logo threes, no problem. Here's the question. Is he a defensive liability? At 6'1.5", 6'2", he's strong. He'll body a guy, but it doesn't matter. That's just physics after a certain point. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I want to know if you think Colin Gillespie is the point guard of the future for the Suns. We love a good point guard, and he is a standard Suns point guard. I'd like to see what he can do, and I'd really like to see him get a chance. Once again, Suns' other point guard options just signed. We just talked about them. Goodwin and Butler re-signed with the Suns. 1 year, $2.3 million contract for Gillespie. Every team wants a Colin Gillespie. I want to know if you think Gillespie is going to be that guy. So hit me up in the comments and subscribe if you like. And thank you in advance for watching Suns Latest. Moving on to comments. All right, so couple of them. This is at Alan Snow 1129. Rather have Giddey or Kobe White. Kobe White, I didn't even think about that. Then Kuminga. I don't want Kuminga. I'd rather develop Dunn and Fleming. All right. Interesting. I agree with Dunn. We've got to see Fleming in the preseason. Also, at Monkey Touch responds to Alan Snow 1129 and me. Quote, I haven't seen both play enough recently, at least not Simmons. I think we can blow off Simmons. I don't. It's so enticing to think if he could be good. Kuminga goes hard to the hole. I think that gets people excited. I do agree with you. If Suns are only going to pick up one player, I've been saying this team could use a creative point forward. Well, that's the Giddey thing. I just think Kuminga is going to be way better to package and trade down the road if need be. After the Beal trade, that's the first thing I'm thinking about, end quote. Very legitimate and cerebral concern. Thank you, Monkey Touch and Alan Snow. I think Ryan Dunn breaks out this year. If that happens, and Ryan Dunn becomes an All-NBA defender, which he is completely capable of, and that three-point shooting percentage keeps going up, you're never going to hear about Kuminga again. Still could use a point forward or a point guard in case Gillespie just doesn't work out. But once again, we got limited everything. We definitely have limited bucks to work with. So I don't know, but I do. I think a lot is riding on Ryan Dunn this year. This might be a make or break in his second year. You never know. Alrighty then. So first of all, and thanks for all the comments, and thanks for signing up for Suns Latest. This is going really well. And remember, this is not about me. This is about the Suns. So criticisms, just bring them on. I don't take anything personally. It's really about seeing where the Suns go. And as weird as this season and difficult as the season is going to be, I can't help but be optimistic and looking at who they're looking at and seeing who's coming up. And we're going to talk more about Fleming in the next Suns Latest. All right, Suns Legend of the Day. Is he on here? No, this is way before this guy, but this is the Suns Lucky Basketball from 1977. Suns Legend of the Day. I know you forgot about him, but true diehard, hardcore Suns fans never forget Don Buzzi. One of a handful of Suns players who also played in the ABA. 6'4", out of Evansville in Indiana. Played 13 seasons from 72 to 85, including the ABA and the NBA. He played for the Pacers 2 times. Played for the Blazers, Kings, and he played for the Suns. In my humble opinion, his best seasons in the NBA were with the Suns. When Boozy got to Phoenix, he paired up with Paul Westphal in the backcourt, and they were a blast to watch. Perfect complements to each other's game. Excellent ball handler and passer, top defender, always took on the opposing team's high-scoring guard. In the ABA and the NBA, Don Boozy consistently got paired up with George the Iceman Gervin, who nobody could stop, but Boozy kept him honest. Instead of Gervin getting 34 and 36 points a game, Boozy would hold him to 30, and that's as good as you're going to do against the Iceman. Don Boozy, selected in the third round by the Suns in '72. I forgot about this. The Suns drafted him. The Suns wanted him right away, but he chose to play for his hometown Indiana Pacers of the ABA instead. Before the NBA adopted the three-point shot, Boozy was knocking them down in the ABA. ABA, all-defensive first team, all-ABA second team, ABA champ, all-star in the ABA and the NBA. Not a lot of guys can say that because there weren't a lot of guys in the ABA to begin with, but still, Boozy was badass. After the merger, '76, Boozy stayed with the Pacers, led the NBA in steals and assists. I think he's the only other guy besides Don Slick Watts at the Sonics to do that. I'm going to check my records, but those are the two that pop into mind, guys that led the league in steals and assists in the same year. The next year, Boozy makes the All-Star team as a Pacer and then gets traded to the Suns for another Suns legend who we're going to get to, Ricky Sobers. So Sobers, straight up trade. Sobers goes to the Pacers. Boozy comes to the Suns. Sobers was great. Really quick side note. He did not mesh with Westphal, and their personalities clashed because they were very alpha and Sobers could do it all. He was a tough defensive player. He could score if you wanted him to. Some ill-advised shots, but him and Westphal did not get along. And Paul Westphal was arguably the best guard in the league, and Ricky Sobers was not even an all-star, as good as he was. So bye-bye, Ricky. Hello, Don Boozy. Let's see, trying to remember. So Boozy was this guy who, I'm not going to call him lunch bucket, but he just came to work, and he was quiet. Could knock down a three. He always defended the other guy's top offensive player. And as I said, perfect compliment to Westphal. Just didn't need the ball to play. Westy loved playing with him. He stuck around for a couple of seasons with the Suns. Traded back to the Pacers. Led the league in three-pointers made. Second, he went back to his old team. He retired after the 84-85 season after stops in Portland and then Kansas City. Assistant coach for the Kings, who are now in Sacramento. He did that in 1987. Went back to Evansville in a consultant role for his college. Quiet, reserved. You never heard about Boozy. You never saw him out. He was such a quiet dude, and you didn't really see him in interviews. He was a good interview. He just didn't hold. He just wasn't the guy that you ran to in the locker room after a win or a loss. One of our best perimeter defenders, as solid as it gets, a real solid point guard. And holy crap, it just occurred to me, the Suns could really use Don Boozy in his prime right now. Think about Boozy playing off Devin Booker. Knockdown three-point shooter, perfect facilitator, incredible defender. You have a kid? Somebody find out for me. Not a lunch bucket guy, as I said, definitely humble, nothing fancy, just a great work ethic, no drama, long, solid NBA career. Don Boozy is your Suns legend of the day. If you got a legend of the day from the Suns that you think I should talk about, hit me up in the comments. Sign up, subscribe to Suns Latest. We'll get it going. We're going to talk a little bit more about Fleming in the next Suns Latest. Other than that, I am Rich Rubin. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Suns Latest. We'll do it again